You ever have one of those mornings where you wake up and the world just feels empty, like every breath's got a little frost on it and nobody's waiting for you anywhere? That was me, sitting on a splintery bench at the edge of River Lane Bus Park, 72 years old with nothing but a battered suitcase and too many regrets me hands shaking, but not from the cold. Nah, it was the ache in my chest, the kind that only comes when your heart's been stomped on by the person you loved most. I guess I ought to start at the end, since that's where life dumped meal one, with my secrets and a suitcase nobody cared about. Not even me. See, folks always assume old ladies like me are carrying around nothing but stories. But let me tell you, sometimes what's in a suitcase would knock your socks off. Except, after what Daniel did, the money in there meant less to me than the lint in my pocket. I raised that boy myself after my husband died car wreck. Quick and cruel, so it was just me and Daniel against the world. I worked as a school teacher for 35 years, up before dawn, making breakfast, grading papers, patching clothes, counting coins in the dark just to make sure my son had more than I ever did. I used to tell him, "Be somebody, Daniel, but remember who got you there." He'd promise, all wide-eyed and sweet. But you know how it goes. The world gives, and the world takes. By the time Daniel hit college age, I'd sold everything with sentimental value just to pay his tuition wedding ring, my late husband's favorite old radio, my last nice pot. It didn't bother me. I wanted him to fly. And boy, did Henner's degree, big city job, beautiful wife named Carol, fancy house. At first, he'd call every night, then every week, and then not at all. I'd wait by the phone, sometimes even whispering a little prayer, but it didn't ring, and the house just felt bigger and emptier. When he finally called, it was just raining hard outside, and his voice was businesslike. "Mama, Carol, and I think it's time you came to live with us. You're getting old." I could have cried. I was that happy. Packed everything up and didn't even say goodbye to my neighbors. But when I got there, Carol looked at me like I was an inconvenience, not family. She didn't want me cooking, didn't want me washing, barely wanted me breathing the same air as her son and grandson. Daniel just went along with it, telling me it was for my safety or to save water. I tried to make myself small, to be useful, but the walls got closer every day. One morning, I broke a plate while cleaning, and Carol let loose. "Why is she still here, Daniel?" she snapped. "She's just extra work." My son didn't defend me. That's when I knew. A few days later, Daniel sat me down, couldn't even look at me. "Mama, it's time you left. Go back to your village." I didn't beg. I just packed my suitcase and walked out no one at the door. No hug, no turning back. My suitcase made this hollow thud as I dragged it down the driveway. And all I could think was, so this is what invisible feels like. You know what they didn't know? I wasn't as helpless as I looked. That suitcase I'd been stuffing money in odd places for years. An old teaching friend got me into a quiet investment group, showed me how to buy shares in the kind of companies nobody brags about. Every penny I saved grew and grew until, without ever changing my lifestyle, I ended up a millionaire. But I never touched it, never spent it on comfort, just on securitize so I'd never have to ask anybody for help, not even Daniel. That morning, sitting on the park bench, I opened the suitcase just for my scarf, not for the money. That cash didn't buy me warmth. But as I wrapped the scarf, I realized it was more than just money in there. It was a reminder that I'd made it all on my own, that I wasn't the one who failed. That's when Mama F found me an old bread seller with a sharp eye and a kind heart. "You all right, Mama?" she asked, and something in her voice made it impossible to lie. She gave me a tiny room behind her shop, nothing but a wooden bed and a thin curtain for a door, but it was shelter, and I slept for the first time in weeks. Next morning, I found myself looking through my ledger, seeing just how much my small acts of saving had added up over decades. It was wild over $1 million just sitting there, and I still felt poor as ever. But you know what happens when you've got a little left to give? People find you. I started helping out at the bread shop, and folks in the market started noticing quiet old lady who worked hard, didn't ask for anything, just listened. One day, a little girl ran in, crying about her brother sick and hungry. I handed her an envelope from my suitcase, told her to go get food and medicine. Mama F nearly fainted. "That's too much, Mama." I just shrugged. He needs it more than me. And suddenly, People started calling me Mama Hope. They didn't care about my story, just that I helped. No questions, no judgments. I kept living simply, same bread and coffee every morning, same 2 dresses. I wasn't looking for glory. But then something changed. A teenage boy came in, wanting to quit school after his father died. I told him, education is a ladder. Don't let go. And I paid his tuition on the spot. He cried, I cried, and for the first time in forever, I didn't feel empty. Meanwhile, Daniel's world was crumbling. Lost his job, lied about it to Carol, took out secret loans to keep up the act. The bills kept piling up, Carol kept pushing, and the stress turned him into a shadow of himself. Then he saw a video online him helping a sick boy in Riverlane. He couldn't believe it. The woman he'd tossed out with nothing, helping strangers like she had everything. He lied about a business trip, hopped a bus to Riverlane, and asked around until he found me under a tree teaching kids to read. He looked so lost. I just stared at him, waiting for him to say something real. But all he had were questions and apologies, and I told him, you broke my heart, Daniel. That bridge between us, you burned it. He asked for a chance to fix it, and I told him to show me, not tell me. Daniel stuck around, doing the work, earning the respect of people who had nothing to gain from him. Day by day, he changed. Carol eventually tracked him down, angry and confused, but even she couldn't break the peace he'd found. Their son, Junior, wanted to stay with me. Everyone's happy here, Grandma, he said, and I saw hope flicker in Daniel's eyes. That's when he finally asked about the money. Why didn't you tell me you were rich? I told him, because money can't buy peace, Daniel. I helped when I saw pain, not for comfort, but for purpose. He understood then that I wasn't trying to prove anything, just doing what I was put on this earth to do. With my savings, I started the Mama Hope Centera place for kids, widows, anyone lost or hurting. We built something together. Daniel became a mentor, Junior the youngest tutor, Mama F the heartbeat of the kitchen. Not everyone likes seeing us rise. An old city slicker named Cunnell tried to snatch the land, waving fake papers and threats, bringing police to our gates. But I had every receipt, every deed, every detail. He got exposed, arrested, and the people cheered. The center grew new buildings, a garden, clean water, music in the air. Daniel and I would sit in the evenings and talk about the old days, how we both found ourselves after losing everything. Family isn't just blood, I'd tell him. It's who stands with you when everything falls apart. Now, years later, the Mama Hope Center is known everywhere. Folks come from far and wide, not just for food or shelter, but for family, for belonging. On the gate, it reads, "Here, no one is forgotten." And every morning, I walk through with my slippers flapping and a smile on my face, knowing this your worth isn't measured by what you lost or who left you behind. It's what you give, who you lift up, and how you keep going when the world tries to erase you. So, tell me, what would you have done in my shoes? When the people you love turn you out, do you let bitterness win? Or do you build something better? I want to hear your story. Where do you stand on forgiveness, justice, and what makes a real family? Drop your thoughts below. The world's messy, but maybe that's what makes hope so rare and so worth fighting for.